When one part of the body is sick, the entire body feels it. Whether it's tooth decay, a broken toe, or an internal organ, our entire body suffers. We neither sleep, eat, or work properly, because both the pain and worry disrupts our entire well-being. It's interesting to note that when doctors investigate an illness, they look for indications throughout the entire body, even though only one part of the body may be sick or damaged. An interesting and wise saying attributed to the Native Americans goes something like, "There are two wolves at war inside every man, one good and one bad. And the wolf that wins is the wolf you feed." I often wonder about sick people. Why do some men find difficulty in simply looking after themselves? Why do some men find strong attraction in sexual deviances, in sociopathy? Why does it give some men great pleasure to see other men suffer? Why do some men glorify in mass genocide? Why do some men find pleasure in bloodshed, in scenes of violence and chaos? Before we try answer these questions, let's take into consideration other factors that make up a man. I remember once watching a program about a man who refused to get out of bed for many months, and by the time social services found him, by the time he was visited by a doctor, he completely lost the use of his legs. He couldn't walk anymore. And then other men, when they overeat to the point that they too can't use their legs, their physical form has become such that their legs can't carry them. And opposingly, the man that doesn't eat enough nutrition to feed his body. These illnesses and these sickness and diseases are visible. We can see the effects, just as if a man consumes something poisonous, albeit poison in small doses over a large amount of time. We can measure and analyse these effects and address these sicknesses and diseases accordingly. But the type of illness I want to highlight today is the sickness that is more prevalent, that in today's society, in our society, in our time, in our era, is doing more damage, and I would argue more severe damage to men in its current form. A long time ago, hundreds of years after the cholera and smallpox epidemic, scientists and physicians tried to explain to the scientific and medical community about germs, microscopic organisms that cause and spread disease and illness. These doctors were laughed at and mocked by the same medical and scientific community that today now take germs very seriously. You see, my point is, if you neglect a part of your own well-being, if you don't even recognise an essential part of your welfare, how will you ever take care of it? How will you ever address nutrition in it? How will you ever know if you're overindulging it? In today's society, we are far from anything close to a natural human habitat. So it only goes without saying that perhaps a part of our own natural well-being is being neglected. That perhaps in today's illnesses and deviances, some of these are caused by a lack of understanding, a lack of care on behalf of that part of man that is essential to his well-being, that perhaps might be causing some of these sicknesses and these sexual and violent and mental illnesses. I would argue that that part of the man that is neglected and abused is the part that you might feel when you're in deep sleep. That part of the man that is touched when you hear your favourite music. That part of you that is inspired by random acts of kindness. That part of man that in today's society claims does not exist. I would say that part of man that is being neglected and is causing so much mental and emotional illnesses that many other illnesses stem from, that part some call the soul.